A show created by the fans, for the fans. We are your home for Ohio State football coverage all year long. The Scarlet and Gray Podcast, a Network 216 production. Live weekdays on the Network 216 YouTube channel. Send us all your questions and comments on Twitter at @VSG_podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Tyler Johnson, Jordan Dalton, and Nick Leisure.
Good Saturday morning and happy game day, Ohio State Buckeye fans. Welcome to episode 22 of the Scarlet and Gray Podcast. We have your Ohio State versus Indiana game day preview. I am Tyler Johnson, joined by Nick Leisure, Jordan Dalton. Gentlemen, how are we feeling today?
Good.
Ready. Like Groundhog Day, brother.
Yeah, dude. I'm ready to go. Game day's finally here. Football's here. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's go.
Dude, it's been a long time coming, it feels like. We actually finally have some news on who our starting quarterback is going to be. But, of course, before we get to all that, just a reminder, if you guys are watching this game day preview on our YouTube channel, please drop a like on the video, help that YouTube algorithm grow, but also subscribe if you are brand new to Network 216. We are trying to reach 2,000 subscribers, and we're less than 100 away from that goal. So, Buckeye Nation, if you could help us out, we really would appreciate that support. And we're going to talk a little about Indiana just because, we have to always talk about the opponent a little bit. But the big news of the week, Ryan Day has decided to name Kyle McCord the starting quarterback for week one. I say week one because that's all he's given. He has said Kyle McCord will take the first snaps of the game against Indiana, but Devin Brown will also play. So, gentlemen, first off, how do you feel about this decision? I have been on Kyle McCord the whole time. I always thought he was going to be the starter. I'm not a fan of the two-quarterback system, but what are your guys' thoughts on Kyle McCord being named the starting quarterback against Indiana?
You want to go, Jordan? You want me to go first? I'll go. All right. I know in private discussions, I've kind of been devil's advocate and said, maybe Devin Brown will get the nod. He's a little bit more athletic, a little bit more mobile. But McCord has an extra year in the program. He's been Ryan Day's guy, so it's not really a huge surprise. Him and Marvin Harrison Jr. went to the same high school. They got that connection from high school already. So, just to build on that. So I think it's probably the right move, but the fact that both quarterbacks are going to play, we kind of expected that as well until probably week 3 before the Notre Dame game, but we'll see. We'll see what happens on today. I'm excited to see what he can do.
It sounds like nobody's really won the job yet.
Yeah.
They named the starter. Kyle McCord gets the nod because he's the more senior guy in the room. But it sounds like it's still up in the air in terms of competition. We might see Devin Brown early in the game too. Just from the sound of it. So. Yeah, not super surprised Kyle McCord's getting the nod, but excited to see Devin Brown and what he can do in his limited opportunities.
I think some interesting quotes just that kind of came out because Ryan Day, of course, was asked about this. He said that Devin Brown has earned the right to play against Indiana and that he selected Kyle McCord as a starter because of his consistency the past 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm always that person. Like, do I want to see Devin Brown play? Sure. I don't like two quarterback systems. They rarely ever work. And in Ohio State's case, they never work successfully. We win games, but it looks so out of sync on offense. It's just not a good situation. I wish, and I don't know how you guys feel about this personally, if Kyle McCord's going to start against Indiana, make him your starter unless he absolutely looks awful and then you pull him, okay, and then you go Devin Brown. I don't like the idea of, because probably what we might see is maybe alternating series, alternating quarters. I don't like that. I think you have to stick with a guy and go with him because you have to show your confidence in that guy. If consistently Kyle McCord's looking over his shoulder like, oh, well, if something happens, Devin Brown's coming in for me this next snap or this next drive. Devin Brown, I do this, Kyle McCord's going to come in and take the spot. So that's just how I feel personally. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think you have to pick your guy and stick with him.
All right. I have I was looking at stats, just a really, really small sample size. Kyle McCord barely played last year just because CJ took majority of the snaps. Mm-hmm. But when Kyle McCord played, he only threw 20 passes, but his stats per average 9.5 yards a pass. And CJ Stroud, 9.5 yards a pass. Mm-hmm. And then they both had almost identical QB ratings. But it's a very, very small sample size, but they're running the same offense. So maybe we can expect similar numbers from a Kyle McCord run Ohio State offense that CJ put up last year. I think it's just interesting how identical these numbers are looking at them on paper.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't go like back and forth, like you said, TJ, because that would be kind of annoying. I hope that we're just in a position that they just dominate the first 3 quarters and they're up by a ton. And then, okay, Devin Brown, you can have the whole 4th quarter. I think you leave the playbook open. You run it like it's a tie game. I think you just got to keep playing no matter. I mean, people are going to say, oh, don't run the score up. Well, we're just trying to get snaps and get reps in live action against someone else other than ourselves. So yeah, I just hope they're in a position that they're up by a ton and they can just kind of give Devin Brown the team and be like, all right, man, your time to shine. Run with it. We'll see.
Exactly. I think that would be the ideal plan, at least that I would like to see. Buckeyes get a huge lead. Devin Brown comes in. That I'm good with. The last thing I'll add on the quarterback, because I feel like we could spend an hour talking about this. The final thing I'll say for fans that are like, does Ryan Day believe in Kyle McCord? Is Kyle McCord even the guy? You know, Ryan Day has produced multiple first-round picks at quarterback for Ohio State, and you know, he knows what he's doing. I know that might shock a lot of fans. Ryan Day on the offensive side of the ball, especially at quarterback, knows what he's doing. That's why a lot of recruits come to Ohio State, especially high-level quarterbacks, is because they want to be taught by Ryan Day. So just something I want fans to keep in mind, because I'm seeing people just like, well, Ryan Day clearly seems really undecided if he's playing both guys. You know what? I'm going to trust he knows what he's doing, and we're just going to roll with it from there. Now, the Buckeyes are going to play Indiana today, and Indiana is bringing in a lot of transfers from the transfer portal, which I think is very interesting. Ryan Day brought that up. But as far as Saturday's game, guys, what are you wanting to see either from the offense or the defensive side of the ball that's really, again, Ohio State's favored by nearly 30 points in this game, but what do you guys want to see that would make you really have confidence as we get our season underway?
I think for me on offense, just seeing the ball move down the field. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see 3 and outs, especially 3 and outs on that first possession, or like get a first down, get a 3 and out. I want to see, consecutive first downs and see Kyle McCord really move the ball down the field. I think that would be really promising for the offense. If we go 3 and out like the first 3 drives, it's going to be rough. So I think that's something I need to see out of the offense. And then on defense, I just want to see them fly around and get to the football, because we saw it last year with Jim Knowles' first season. The defense looked completely different, but this is the second year in that system, and I just want to see those guys more familiar and then just flying around making plays.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, the defense, the offense is going to do its thing. All we need to do on offense is just get the ball to the playmakers. Really, either quarterback, I think, is capable of doing that. It's just whoever's just going to take care of the football. And I don't want to see any turnovers from that Buckeye offense to start off at all. Defensively, I agree with Jordan, man. I just want to see him flying around, making plays. I'm really excited to see that front. That front 7, front 6 is just going to be completely nasty this year. A lot of guys that played some last year. Jack Sawyer and JT, I mean, this is both their third year in the program. So, I mean, I'm really excited to see how those guys play. And then obviously the linebacking core, and then the secondary is going to do their thing. But I just want to see the defense kind of just dominate this game today.
Yeah, I want to see who takes that next step at wide receiver. We know Marvin Harrison Jr. and Mecca Buka, they're going to get their catches, they're going to get their yards, and hopefully get their touchdowns too. But outside of that, who is going to step up and really take that next step? And who's going to become that third wide receiver on this roster? I think, just by what we've been hearing, I think Cardinal Tate has a good opportunity to be that guy. Julian Fleming, I really need to see him come out and compete. Julian Fleming, I still haven't seen. This guy was one of the number one recruits 3 years ago in his class. 5-star receiver. He took a step forward last year. If he really wants to establish himself this year, he's got to do it because he's got a lot of competition from Cardinal Tate. I'm hoping we see Brandon Enos as well. I don't know if we will because, again, he just lost his black stripes, so not sure where he falls on the depth chart, but I want to see the wide receivers, how they do. And then I really need to see the matchup that we're going to see because Indiana has Cam Camper coming back at wide receiver. He has their entire offense, I would say, as far as playmaker. 46 catches, 589 yards, 12.4 yards per catch and 2 touchdowns. And that was before he tore his ACL in October. He is expected to play in this game. And Denzel Burke, who is going to be the Buckeyes' number 1 corner going into the season, will be matched up one-on-one against him. How does Denzel Burke handle that matchup? The one thing, guys, that we really talked about a lot last year was Denzel Burke, and his performances were very, very subpar compared to his freshman year. Let's hope he takes that step forward this year because we really need to see that. The question I wanted to ask you guys, Indiana also has a quarterback competition. It sounds like Tom Allen, their head coach, has already said who their quarterback's going to be. We don't know, but it sounds like he does. It's between Taven Jackson and Brendan Sorsby. So I ask you guys, how difficult is that for a defense to prepare for potentially 2 different style quarterbacks?
I mean, it's difficult either way. I mean, I feel like in the Big Ten especially, there's a lot of guys that can kind of do both with the football. They can run it pretty well. I mean, the quarterback, they're pretty athletic all the way around. I think you really have to just be ready for everything, I guess. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but I mean, obviously with Sorsby, he's probably more the pocket passer guy, but I mean, either way, both these guys, super limited experience. I think they only said there's maybe 10 passes thrown between both of them so far in their careers. So, I mean, whoever gets the start, I mean, is it going to be their first start for whoever gets the start?
That's what it appears to be, yeah.
That's a tough task to go up against Ohio State no matter who's going to start. But I feel like you just got to play them honest no matter what. Whoever starts, you just got to be ready for both them running and throwing the ball, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a really good warm-up game. I know it's a conference game, but it's definitely not a juggernaut in the conference, especially with their past couple games. But it is a Big Ten game. You can't really sleep on your opponents. So, and it's a away game. So we're going to be playing in Indiana week 1. So it'll be tough. I think they're going to come out those first quarter of those Big Ten games, usually you get hit in the mouth. And then you have to respond. So I'm thinking either or quarterback, the pro style, I think would lend itself a little bit better for the Notre Dame matchup with Sam Hartman. Just having a quarterback that can stand back there and pick you apart with his arm. But athletic quarterback, you got to be aware of the path or of the run at all times. If they can get out of the pocket and make plays, those guys have been terrorizing college football for decades. Mm-hmm. It seems like the last 20 years, the mobile quarterbacks really make it happen. So, just playing Ohio State football and playing within themselves because they're talented enough. They don't have to do anything special on defense. and just I think the biggest things that have killed us in the past have been blown coverages and tackling. So if we have addressed that and our coverage is sound, I don't think there's really a team in the first 6 games of our schedule that are going to be able to hang with us, just talent based. Notre Dame's going to be a tough ask, especially at Notre Dame, a night game. But I think we're going to see a completely different Ohio State defense this year. I truly do.
Hey, I need to see it. That's for sure, especially after how bad the secondary has been the last couple of years. So really hope that is the case. I think, like you said, JD, I mean, you're going on the road in the Big Ten. That first quarter, Indiana's going to be amped up. I mean, it's going to be their biggest recruiting weekend of the year because Ohio State's coming to town. It's not going to – I mean, it's going to be loud. They're expecting a sellout crowd there. There are going to be a lot of Buckeye fans, though, there too, because it's not a far drive. That brings the question here. Ohio State is favored by 29.5, I believe. Last time I checked, it might be a little higher or lower. I'm not sure. Do you guys think the Buckeyes cover that spread? And also, what is your prediction, score prediction for the game on Saturday?
I think they cover. I think they cover big. I mean, the last 2 games, they've beaten by 42 and 47. So, I mean, the odds are in the Buckeyes' favor, obviously. So I think they cover the spread big. I don't even know what kind of score to put on it. I think Buckeyes might put up over 60 maybe, just from what I've read about the Indiana defense and all the talent that Ohio State has. I think even our backups are going to be better than and a lot of other starters. So I think Buckeyes win big. I'm not going to really I don't know, maybe 56-7, somewhere around there. I think they just come out fired up and blow them out.
Yeah, I hate these early week games or early season games where we're playing opponents that are a little bit lesser than what we see later on in the season. I feel like as Ohio State fans, we're really lucky that our team is always really good, and I always feel bad for the other teams, especially when we're over here telling like our predictions are 50-7 or whatever for a blowout victory. But I think, like Nick said, our backups are probably better than majority of their starters. So, and even with the inexperience at quarterback, we're returning a lot on offense and on defense. So I think us covering the spread is not going to be the issue. I think it's really how much can we put the ball in the end zone. And I think my prediction would be like 42-7 just because it's a new quarterback. I think that might play a big factor in the play calling. I don't think we're going to push the ball down the field as much. But I still think it's an easy win for the Buckeyes today. So 42-7 is my prediction, and go Bucks.
I like it. They're going to cover the spread. I feel like that's actually generous. I mean, you should absolutely hammer that spread for the Buckeyes. And I think I don't care who's behind center. We also have 4 or 5 running backs that I think could get double-digit touchdowns in this game. Like, I mean, 2 of them get double-digit touchdowns. Wouldn't surprise me. There's so many different guys. Huh? You can see Travion and Mayan Williams each get 2 touchdowns. I don't think that's.
Oh, you mean no? That's
multiple touchdowns, not double digits.
Buddy. Double digits. I was like, what,
dude? When I think double digits, okay.
10
I mean, you never know. And that would actually be pretty hilarious.
That's a college football record,
dude. It happens in video games, so you never know. I think Ohio State's scoring 63 in this game. I think they're going to put up a ton of points. I think regardless of who's in, Ryan Day is going to want to make a statement to open the year. And then I do believe Indiana is going to score in garbage time. So 63-17, I think will be the score. As we're wrapping things up, though, guys, anything else you guys wanted to add on this Buckeye game day?
Yeah, one of the things I want to touch on is we talked about it in the past, but I'm super, super excited to see it, is this chemistry between Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Mm-hmm.
They play together in high school. They are best friends, apparently. So I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a connection there. I'm pretty sure Marvin Harrison Jr. is gonna get the football. So I'm really excited to see that connection. And from what I've seen, of the very little I've seen of Kyle McCord, he can push the ball downfield. He's got a cannon. So I'm excited to see that in action for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the fun part is people forget that these guys played together in high school. And I think Kyle McCord's going to come out slinging it. And he's going to make a statement. I know it's Indiana, but you need to come out and really establish yourself. I think he's going to do that. And he's going to take this job starting week 1, and he's going to prove that he needs to be the Buckeyes starting quarterback this year. So,
were they a package deal coming to Ohio State?
Yes, they were.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
and then also another side note is unrelated, but McCord and Emeka Ibuka were roommates their freshman year too. So
yeah,
they've all that trio spent a lot of time together. All 3 years so far, so
it's exciting, man. And who knows, man? He could be the next Ohio State great, and
he really could.
That's the big thing is like we don't really know until they get on the field. So it starts today.
Yep, absolutely. But guys, again, thank you for tuning in to this Ohio State versus Indiana pregame show. Be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're brand new to Network 216. We can't wait to talk to you guys all again next week. And go Buckeyes.
Hey, TJ. Homage Apparel.
Huh?
You know that thing that we get sponsored by?
Yeah.
This is
all right. Drop it, TJ. Drop it.
Well, all right. Yeah, we are proud to be a partner of Homage Athletic Apparel. If you're a new customer, when you go to their website, you enter in your email address, you can get 15% off your first order. You want to make sure you take advantage of that. They got some brand new retro Ohio State gear, some brand new Woody Hayes gear. They have a retro tee that has various players from this year's team on it. Cade Stover, Travion Henderson, Marvin Harrison Jr., you name it. They got everything you're looking for, whether it's clothes that you need to close out the summer, beginning of fall, or even if you want to start buying things for Christmas and for the winter, they have everything you're looking for. Be sure to go to homage.com and tell them Network 216 sent you. Thank you, JD, again. Oh, man.
My pleasure.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in to episode 22 of the Scarlet and Gray podcast. We will talk to you guys all again next week, and go Buckeyes.